Hi and welcome back to the Football Tragics. My name is Tony and I'm joined by Aaron and Campo. This weekend we have Spurs taking on Chelsea. So we're going to have these two boys go head to head in a combined XI. So sit back, enjoy, and let us know in the comments if you'd make any changes. Over to you, boys.
All right, well, let's kickstart this off. Let's go straight into it. Goalkeeper. It's a big topic, this one, because you got Mendy for Chelsea and you got Hugo Lloris for Spurs. What's your argument? Who would you pick?
If you're going based off pure form, you have to go Mendy because he's making that many saves a game. Arguably, Hugo's making just as many, but they're all, crosses that are coming in that he's just parrying away or whatever. But if you're going career or what you wanted a goalkeeper, you're picking Lloris every day.
Yeah, I think obviously if you look at career and whatnot, Lloris has won almost everything you can win. He's won a World Cup, won a Euros. But I just think that Mendy, he's a safe keeper. You look at him, you just don't see any errors in him. He just parries it safely. I think if you look at Lloris, he does have that error in him. This season he's had a great start, but so has Mendy. And then I think Lloris had a decent season last year, but then you look back maybe season before that and he was very, very average. And there was almost like calls for, his time could be up here. So I'm gonna go with Mendy just purely because I think he's just a safe keeper. You know what you're going to get with him, and he helps that back line completely.
Yeah, I'll agree on Mendy. Just for
we're locking Mendy. Yeah. All right, so it's 1-0 to Chelsea. All right, right back. You don't really have anybody to argue, do you? You had Aurier, he's gone. He was never even in the picture. You've now got Emerson Royale. Again, you can't argue. You haven't seen enough of him. I'm going to go out there, Reece James, plain and simple. I don't think you can argue that.
We had Jaffa Tanganga, who was filling in nicely there, but he's a makeshift right back.
Yeah, exactly.
We got no one there, so James goes by default, I think.
Bang. 2-0 Chelsea. All right. Centre back. Who would you put in the two centre backs?
All our centre-backs are pretty much Bambi's half the time. You got the likes of Dyer, who has had a really good start to the season. He got nominated for Player of the Month. He was up there. But if, again, on career, they're just – all our centre-backs right now are just Bambi's on ice. Like, they're just useless.
You've said it in plenty of, our previews and reviews. Your defenders are a mistake waiting to happen. You know that they're going to, like you've said it many times, they're going to concede at least one error per game, and that's each.
Yeah.
Van Dyer, as you want to call him, he's had a great season. Obviously, sadly picked up an injury, but just as good as a season he's had, I'm going to say Rüdiger, Christensen, who have been probably our most prolific centre backs this season, have had a better season, arguably. So that's my two picks. I've gone Christensen on the right and Rüdiger on the left in a back four.
I can't even argue. You just can't make an argument with the amount of mistakes that they make.
If you look at last season, for example, you could argue Christian Romero, but he's not done it in the pre. He hasn't played a minute really, so it's hard to force him in. All right,
maybe when we do a round two in it.
Yeah, if we do an updated one second half of the season, maybe Romero does sneak in there. And if he does perform for you guys, that's massive because
we need someone that's not.
You need a stonewall centre back. All right, so we're getting Christensen and Rüdiger. Lock them both in there.
4-0. So this could be the scoreline this weekend.
It really could be. All right, left back. I know your argument. It's Reguilon. First, I'm going to say in a back four, it's Ben Chilwell, not Alonso, because he's not a left back. Sorry, he's a wing back. All right, what's your argument for Reguilon?
He gets up the pitch. He provides crosses. He defends well. You've seen him He's been our most consistent starter, pretty much, besides Kane and Son. He's always in the thick of it. Gives 110%. Barely makes a mistake. I just don't see a world how you could put Alonso in a back four. No chance, because he makes too many defensive errors in a back four. Chilwell's the only one you can make an argument in a back four because he's won the Premier League, the Champions League, and he is a quality left back. But in my opinion, I think Reguilon is the better left back.
All right, so I've got some stats here for you. Obviously, yeah, we're doing it in the back four. So Chilwell, it's the only argument I can have. I can't have Alonso in there in the slice. All right, so Ben Chilwell last season played 42 games. He got 4 goals and 7 assists. Reguilon played 36, 0 goals, 6 assists. You could argue, yes, the team's a lot better and whatnot, but you got to think a lot of those games Chilwell was playing at a wing-back position, so maybe he did get a bit more forward. The only issue I have, I think Reguilon, he's probably one of your first names in the team sheet, without a doubt. Like you said, behind Kane and Son, I think that's your first 3. But I just think that whatever Reguilon can do, Chilwell can do, if not better. He's safer. He's probably a little bit better of a defender. Maybe he's not as good getting forward. I know he's got more goals, but he was playing a bit more advanced. I just think that whatever Reguilon can do, he can do better.
I think you got to also take into consideration with those stats that Reguilon was playing under Jose Mourinho. So 6 assists.
What's your argument there?
6 assists with Jose Mourinho's bus parking tactic could amount to 15 under an actual good coach. But I agree Ben Chilwell is a very good defender. And to not go on for 20 minutes about our left back, I will give you Chilwell because he probably is a slightly better, but Reguilon's still very young.
I think if you just look at, if we bring up career as well, for example, like you mentioned, Chilwell's won a few more trophies, and we can't base it off trophies, but he's done it at Leicester as well. So he's been in the Premier League for a little bit longer. He's a bit more seasoned in the Premier League. And that's the only reason, another reason why I would throw him in there. So if you're going to give me that one, it's a complete Chelsea
back four.
Keeper and back 4. All right, midfielders. Who do you even have to argue here? The only person that you could throw in the mix here would be Dele Alli, but I still don't think he makes it.
I wouldn't even throw Dele's name in there. It'd be Højbjerg as a defensive mid. But again, you're coming up against Kante and Jorginho, who won the Euros. Kante, the best CDM in the world. We lost Eriksen, who would have been my only, a midfielder spot. At the moment, we've just got kids in there.
Yeah, I think Højbjerg has a very good shout. However, again, I think whatever he can do, Jorginho can do. And I think Jorginho is getting a lot more praise now for his performances for Italy, for example. On the world stage, he's done it. He was probably one of those first names on the team sheet for Italy and probably won them the Euros slightly. That's my argument for, again, Højbjerg. I think whatever he can do. And he's a great player, don't get me wrong, but Jorginho is just... He is world class, and he's not given the credit for it. Maybe now, and then Kante. I don't even need to. Nobody needs to argue this. He's the best stadium in the world. So that's who I'm going with.
Can't argue. I just can't argue. Our team at the moment is in a very weird position because all our South Americans haven't played in the Prem this season, like your Lo Celsos, who could turn up in these big games, but they haven't played yet, so I can't put them in based off, winning the Copa America with Argentina or
because we got to look at last season, for example, because it's only 5 games into the year, 4 games, so we can't go off it too much. But I think we lock in Jorginho and Kante as our 2 holding midfielders. Yeah. All right, and now if we go for attacking mid now, it's a 4-3-3. Mason Mount. I think again he is probably one of those. Probably would be ahead of Kante if you're talking about first name on the team sheet for Chelsea, arguably. He's come in, he's fan favourite, boyhood, he's just changed. He's revolutionary. He's genuinely a generational talent. I can't even pronounce can't even bloody pronounce it. He's unbelievable. I think he has to play a lot deeper these days, which is not really probably his strong point. I think he would probably prefer to play higher. Sometimes he plays in the 2 behind the striker. But Mason Mount, again, you could argue Dele Alli, but he's fallen off a little bit.
We don't play attacking mids this year under Nuno, so it's there's no one that's screaming center attacking mid. It's all center mids and CDMs. It's just very defensive at the moment. So I don't even know who we have as the center attacking mid to even put in that. I can't argue with putting a.
So we're looking in Mason Mount as well. So that's 7 of our players, 8 of our players.
8
mil this weekend, is it? All right, let's give you some. let's start with left wing. Tell me who you're thinking.
There's only one person that you can put in this position, and it's one of the best players in the Premier League at that position, Sonny Boy.
All right, so I've got some more stats for you. Let's compare Son to Werner. I think that's the only two you can. Werner's been playing a bit more on the left as he has instead of a striker. So last season, 51 games, 22 goals and 17 assists, all comps for Son. And you saw the start he had to the season, unbelievable. Werner, 52 games, 12 goals, 15 assists. 15 assists is great. I don't think he gets enough credit for that. However, his goals was severely lacking.
He should have had 20 goals.
They should have had 30. But we could sit here for days talking about all the misses. I think I'm going to have to give you Son. I think any team in the world would take Son on his day. I think he's genuinely the best left winger in the Premier League, without a doubt. So I'm going to give you Son. However, I want to take Werner on the right. He's not exactly playing there, but he's a winger to a certain degree. Who have you got to argue if we put Werner on the right?
Lucas Moura, because he started the season really well, but again, last season he didn't play. It's a whole new, like we had Gareth Bale there last year. It's a whole new squad at the moment under Nuno, and as many chances as Werner misses, he has set up a lot. He does create chances.
Yeah,
he deserves that right wing over. I think.
Yeah, and that's why I think he does get a shout at winger because of the goal contributions. You don't take just his goals, but goal contributions for sure. So yeah, let's lock it in. Heung-min Son and Timo Werner right wing. The big one, the biggest argument here would have to be Harry Kane versus Romelu Lukaku. Am I going to give you another one, or am I going to take this one? I'm going to bring up some more stats. This is a massive topic. They were very, very similar here. If we're talking just Premier League versus Serie A, it was 35 games, 23 goals and 14 assists for Harry Kane. Again, just like Son had a phenomenal start to the season. Serie A, 36 games, 24 goals, 10 assists. So just right there, Harry Kane's a little bit better off. One less game, one less goal, but 4 more assists. All comps here, 49 games, 33 goals, 17 assists for Kane, and 44 games, 30 goals and 10 assists for Lukaku. So if we're basing off last season, Kane every day of the week, they're a similar player. They're lone striker. They don't really play with another player. Well, Lukaku last season played with Martinez. But look, I'm going to argue Lukaku purely for the fact that he started the season bright.
But then Kane he's played 2 games this year. But if you're thinking what the perfect striker is, as good as Lukaku is, he doesn't drop deep enough. Kane can do everything that a striker can. He can drop deep, pick the ball up, start the counter attack, and get on the end to finish it. Where I think if Lukaku's back deep, he doesn't have the pace, or I don't think he'd be able to run 70 yards to get in that box for a cross or a tap in.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I think, again, like the way Kane started, that link up with Son at the beginning of the last season was phenomenal. He doesn't have to play he wasn't playing as a striker at times. He was dropping in, he was playing as a cam. And Son was scoring for fun and he was getting tons of assists. I don't think Lukaku quite offers that. Yes, he had a few assists for Martinez, but I don't think he offers that completely. Yes, again, Lukaku, if we're going off just this season, Lukaku started better. There's no arguments about it. However, whatever Lukaku can do, he's a great finisher. Kane's just as good finisher, if not better. They're basically the same pace. Lukaku's probably got a bit of a hold up on him, probably a better, big, strong striker. However, his touch is poor. Yeah, it hasn't really improved. Kane's always had a good touch. So I'm going to have to give you your second player in the whole squad. Let's lock in Harry Kane at striker. And now our team will look like this. On screen, we've got Mendy in goals. It's a complete Chelsea back 4. It's a complete Chelsea midfield. Werner and then 2 Tottenham players. As we said, it's taken place this weekend. Will I be biting my words with Lukaku scoring a double and Kane doing nothing? I hope so. You obviously hope not. we're going to see how it pans out this weekend. Thanks for joining me, Campo. This was a ton of fun. Thanks for Tony to introing us. And we'll see you again in the next Combined XI.
Well done. Beautiful.